always do funny voices and stuff, and just do it for my own kind of entertainment and in my own kind of pleasure. Just I would see something on TV like a cartoon, and I'd be like, hey, I could do that voice, and I try it out, and then my friends would be like, hey, that's pretty good. You should try doing that. And so I always kind of blew it off for a while, but then I thought about it, and I was like, I probably could try to do this, and then I got into it, and it was a little difficult at first because a lot of these I guess voice acting agencies and just some people that are trying to employ voice actors, they look for somebody with experience, and not just that, but like they have the acting lessons and just a lot of the schooling for it, and so at first it was hard, but then after a while I started to pick up on some stuff, and I think my first job that I did was for a online RPG game that's on Newgrounds.com, and and then I just started doing it from here and there, but and I'm still trying to get into it more, so.
They call me the God of War, Kratos, and you are in my land.
Hello everyone, it's me, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and I want to tell all of you a new secret.
Look at your face, it's just so sexy. Oh my god. Delicious.
The one that really made people just be like, hey, you really need to get into it, was doing SpongeBob.
Mr. Krabs! No! No! Gee, Gary, it's me, Calvin. No! Not SpongeBob! I don't know what's going on here.
And sometimes I can get SpongeBob hit or miss. I haven't seen SpongeBob, the cartoon show, since I was younger. But I was doing SpongeBob, and it wasn't like I just hit it right away. It was over a while. I was like, I think I could do that. I know I could do this, and I know I don't get it right. But if I keep doing it and practicing, I can get it to where where it sounds pretty close. And then one day I actually just did it, and I was like, oh, that was pretty close, actually, And so I would say SpongeBob. Let me see. I can't really think of any characters at the top of my head, but I know SpongeBob was the fire starter for me.
So I found you by finding your demo reel on YouTube, and I know one of the voices that really got me too was the British kid. He sounded like a little kid.
Yeah.
Dear father, I come in a land far and hidden. I don't want to come back ever. At 6:00 p.m. I shall expect my dinner. I'm in the backyard. You know where to find me.
And that's kind of what told me. I was like, oh, this dude's really into voice acting because, you're like a big dude and have a deep voice, but then you're doing these little characters. So that's when I know I'm like, yeah, they're really into. So I was really impressed with the little characters you were doing. That's when I was like, oh yeah, to have that variation. So I was wondering, was that an original character, or is that from another show or something like that?
It actually is an original character. It was kind of inspired by Stewie from Family Guy. Mm-hmm. Just a little bit, but I'm a big fan of the smaller characters. I just like the high pitched, underdog kind of characters. And me being 6'2", 220. It's kind of weird to hear a little high pitched Mike Tyson-y kind of voice coming out of me. But I don't know. I've always just been a big fan of those weird, quirky kind of voices, and so I've always just been drawn to that.
Yeah, that must freak out your roommates or something, right? If they hear these voices come out of your room.
So, it does, yeah. I'm doing voiceovers, yeah. They're just like, what is going on in the next room? Yeah.
They call me Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots.
So with the British kind of character, how did that go? Turn up because then the character Mac, which you did, he had that British accent. How did that come about? Because that kind of because in the script, in the descriptions, there wasn't anything like that. And then when I got him, I was like, oh, he's British. That's kind of cool though. Yeah, I like that. So how did you decide to bring the British accent to the characters, to Mac?
Well, with Mac, I just kind of when you sent me the picture of him, I was like, he's an intelligent person from the looks of it.
This town is obviously trying to hide something, and us meddling kids are gonna find out what it is.
He stands out pretty well. All the characters stand out from each other, but he had this more sensible or more cautious approach And I mean, I was like, I listened to, or I did some of the voices, and I was like, maybe I should give it a little bit more diversity. I don't want to just make it like just an American kind of thing, kind of stretch it out a little bit, give it a little bit of range. And, I was like, let me try to do a little British accent, And I think the other character, I don't know if it was Drunk Flan, but I did a Southern accent.
Evening, stranger. What'll it be? Actually, I already know what it'll be, as we only got one thing. Hot wine.
But, I mean, as far as Matt goes, I mean, I don't know, I just wanted to try out the British accent just to see if that would give it a little bit more diversity than just having just an American kind of, character background for each one of them,
Yeah, I thought it made it really cool because then it's like they all had their own little personalities. And, that's what I tried to do in this one, too. I was like, I got good voice actors, so I just want to let them do their thing and let them, have fun and find that part. And so I guess going back to the small characters, was Bogg, was he one of those little underdogs? Because he got the kind of squeaky voice, so you put that into Bogg?
Yeah, I think Bogg is my favorite character out of the whole thing. I mean, Bogg, I mean, he's just a very interesting character, man. And like, I really, when I first saw him and just kind of went through the lines, I was like, this is definitely like an underdog kind of character. Let me see how this little, I want to see how this voice works out for him.
We did it! What did we do?
We changed something in the town that never changes.
What will that do?
Change something.
Okay.
And, I did it. And I assume that you liked it.
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, wait till you see, because at this point, we're doing this interview now. You haven't seen the full film. You read the script, but you haven't seen Bogg like slaying nightmares with his little sword and all that stuff yet. So you're gonna get to see him because he ends up being the boss. He's like the little samurai
I saw
hero.
him in the trailer where he was slashing a little bit. I was like, oh man, I was like, I can't wait to see the film, man. I'm ready to see it.
So another thing that what actually made me laugh a lot, which it sounded like you were having fun when you were doing Drunk Flan and all his puking and all his like his drunk talk.
You think you're better than me? You're not better than me. You think you're better than me? You're not better than me. Son of a bitch! Where are your friends when you need them? Fucking nowhere, that's where.
Because of all those takes, and when I was going through them, I was laughing because I was like, it sounds like he's really enjoying this, like the puking. But did you enjoy it, or was it just you were trying to get the perfect puke sound?
I think I was enjoying it. I think there were some takes that I probably forgot to cut out where I was actually laughing. I think I don't know if you
no, you cut them. There wasn't any, so that's why I didn't know.
I'll drink.
Yeah, I was actually having a good time because I never really done, I guess, that before as far as like, like the sneezing and coughing and, throwing up. It's always just been like straight voiceover. But I think that was kind of the first time where I actually did something more of a, natural mannerisms as far as voice acting. And like, the throwing up was just so, because like as I was doing it, at one point I was doing it so much that I felt like I was actually going to throw up. But I mean, I didn't, of course. But I mean, it was fun. It was funny. It was like I was just having fun with it.
I'll drink this. I'll drink to that.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to do a great diversity of characters because you had like Bogg, the little innocent, cute kid.
Dee, it's me, your best friend Bogg.
And then you had like Boar, like the older pervert dude who's like perving out saying all this creepy stuff.
If you want to learn, Bogg can teach you.
So, did you record them? Like, how was that? Like, would you do different characters during the same set, or did you have to separate them and do just one character, finish that, go on to the next? How did you organize your performance recording?
I definitely had to do them each by character. I mean, because when you I guess, do the voices of these characters, sometimes you can kind of subconsciously mix them up a little bit, as far as like accents and even the pitch, because the pitch is very important, Like, there was a lot of takes where I was doing them to where I could tell as I was getting, I guess, further into the character lines that I was either going deeper with the character's voice or higher. And I always have to go back to the first, I guess, couple lines that I did originally and be like, okay, I am too high or I am too low. So, I mean, even that was just still difficult. But, I mean, yeah, I definitely had to do them each by character, which I thought was easier, instead of just kind of doing them, doing each character like line by line,
Well, usually they need proof or a witness or something to make sure.
Yeah, but there's never been a murder here. And then he gets here, and in just one day, there's a murder!
They could be lying. There could have been plenty of murders here, and they just lie about it.
Yeah, and where did you actually record your lines?
I record them in my room. I have like small little studio set up, too big. I have a pretty decent microphone and, I have a pretty good computer. So I just kind of just did it in my room, and I had set up like some carpet on my walls to not, to avoid the reverb kind of sound, acoustics. So, yeah, I mean, just did it all in my room.
I guess it's been democratized like everything else, right? You could work professionally in your own home studio, and if it sounds legit, then you're good, right?
Yeah, that's the amazing thing, man. I mean, it's not like back in the day where you have to just go to a studio and do it. I mean, although that would be nice, but, after a while, it's just, it's kind of dragging, just going back and forth. And, I mean, just doing it in your room and, when you're hungry, you just go to the kitchen,
Yeah.
So that's the best thing.
Where did you have to look for any other characters or movies or something for reference for your characters, or did they come out and just make them up, or were you getting other stuff for like reference for your characters? Did you do anything like that?
I mean, the best reference that I had was from your drawings. I mean, I just kind of looked at the characters and just just kind of let my own imagination just kind of float around a little bit as far as different voices and stuff. And I mean, I didn't really get much of references outside of that. I mean, I just strictly stuck with what I saw that you gave me and looked at each detail of the characters, whether, if it's like Mac with his glasses and, he was pretty tall character for his, I guess, his age. And, I mean, yeah, I was just looking at the details of these characters' images, and, I just, strictly went based off of that.
You guys are mean. I took a bath yesterday.
They're just jealous because you're so smart, Bogg. None of us could build an airplane like you did.
What was the most fun, like, scene or lines or part that you remember to do that maybe you did it and you're like, oh, it's over, like, that was cool, I want to do that again? Was there anything like that part of it?
I remember some lines. I would say the lines that I really liked were from Bogg. I think I can do some of them. I know I have it pulled up, so I might have to look, but it's the part where he says, let me see, I don't want to take up too much time. Pretty much he's just out there saying that he's like, we're supposed to be looking for monsters,
Aren't we supposed to be keeping watch for monsters?
There's no such thing as monsters, Bogg.
I just like how he's very, I guess, he's a very nervous character. And I like that about him. It's just very quirky and just very nervous in the beginning, and then, of course, later in the film, he's kicking some butt,
Yeah, he was trying to stay on track. Like, no, we can't fly the plane. We got to do this work. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The propeller!
Yeah, the propeller. And then, you see that he actually had it all along. Oh, no, Bogg.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the hardest part of your whole process from start to finish?
I would say just, I would say there was two things. It was just making sure the continuity of the voices were still there. Like I was talking about earlier, just making sure the pitch is right, and also the accent, making sure it's not too heavy or too light, that is just constant with the other voices, or the other lines, excuse me. And the other, I guess, difficult thing that I was going through was
It was just all too easy.
No, it was. Well, I mean, I mean, it was fun. I mean, I had a good time with it. I mean, it was just, I guess making sure that I wasn't getting too bored with the lines, you know, like, you know, because with these lines, not a lot of people know, you do them like several times, and, you know, just making sure you have that authenticity still there, you know, when you do the first 3 lines, it's like, you know, that it's still fresh, but after a while, your mind is almost kind of used to it, to where it almost makes it sound like it's repetitive and not fresh. So making sure I was making it fresh was, I wouldn't say it was too difficult, but it was just always constantly reminding myself, okay, refresh your brain and just do it again, you know, and making it sound authentic. So those are the 2 things I would say that were the most difficult things in this whole process.
And since, you know, the characters were just written in the script, but I didn't try to give you any direction as to, they're like this, like that. So it's almost like you built the characters, the voice actors built the characters more than I did. You know, I wrote them. So from you, the person that kind of created them with their voice, can you just say a little bit about each character, like who they are or what they're about? Like first, like Bogg.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you bring to them? Like, who did you make, or what did you take, and then what did you make them into? You know, just kind of like, who's Bogg?
Bogg is just that underdog character that I guess isn't taken too seriously, and then, you know, later he just has to make everybody take him seriously. Like he puts action into it, and, you know, he's slaying people down or slaying the nightmare down, and, you know, that's what I got off of Bogg. You know, he's just like, okay, I'm tired of everybody pushing me around. I'm gonna show people who I am, you know, under this small little tiny me of myself, you know. So that's what I thought of Bogg.
You guys are mean. I took a bath yesterday.
They're just jealous because you're so smart, Bogg. None of us could build an airplane like you did.
What about the mayor's assistant, Simmons?
Simmons? Oh man, I think he's kind of a jerk. You know, he's just I mean, he's like the Scrooge of the whole thing, you know. He's just like he's like the mayor's, I guess, right-hand man. He doesn't feel remorse for anybody, apparently. It's funny, it was interesting. I mean, he's such a negative character, but yet I liked him for some reason. I don't know why, but I just liked his character.
Here is your invoice.
Invoice?
The bill for the consulting session with the mayor.
But we can't spare any.
I'm sure your children will be happy to work it off for you. Now please excuse us.
The diversity between all the characters were just, I thought were really good. So that's what I think about Advisor Simmons. He's just a jerk that needs some love, just in the inside somewhere, you know?
Yeah, and hopefully it works out in the final movie, but, you know, like Simmons, he is that way, and you did him so straight and deadpan with no, you know, he's just this thing. And then the mayor is so animated and angry, so hopefully when people watch the movie, you know, they get that. Because I think it creates comedy in a lot of parts, because he's just so, yes, no, why, so.
Who owns that shrine?
I don't know, Mayor. I'd have to check the records.
But we'll check them.
Now?
Yes, now, not later.
Now?
Oh, God.
Now?
Yes, not later, now.
Yes, sir.
So, what about Boar?
Boar? Boar is such, I think he was one of the funniest characters. I mean, aside of Drunk Flan, I think Boar, I enjoyed playing Boar, because he was just like that. I think he was like the only perverted person in the story, you know, just ridiculous, like the things he would say. And
another day, another dollar. Another dollar to spend and bend over another lovely young lady. Nothing ever changes. Gotta love it.
So when I read about the description for Boar and just the lines, and then you know, I was just like, okay, what's the creepiest voice that I could do for this guy? You know, and actually for his character, I was inspired by, I forgot the character off of Family Guy, but the guy in the wheelchair. But I was actually inspired by his voice, and I was like, okay, now I can take this voice. Now how am I gonna make it creepier? And so I was like, okay, the Southern accent. I think you were the one that suggested the Southern accent, and then voila. And I mean, it was just he's just a very funny. He's perverted, but it's funny. You know, it's not like, oh gosh, that character again. Oh my gosh, get him out of the story. It's just like he's that comedy that's so rich and I mean, I like the pervert jokes. It's funny, you know, and it's not that perverted. He just says things that are just so off the wall, you know. So I think a lot of people are gonna like that character a lot.
Did you see anyone come into town tonight, Bull?
Yeah, just some real boring guy that talked too much. Went into the lantern house for a little, you know.
Bor, please, the children.
Gotta learn sometime.
Yeah, hopefully he makes people cringe, you know, like with his lines that he's saying, you know.
Yeah.
So how about Mac?
Mac, I think he's just a smart little individual. I mean, he seems to be the one that's more cautious of certain situations. I would say he's that little voice inside of, I guess, each character said that they should be thinking, but are just totally against doing it. So they're off doing the most dangerous stuff, and he's always kind of the one saying things like, "Oh, we shouldn't, you know, do that, and we should, you know, get back on track," kind of thing.
So your brother came here when he was a kid and disappeared mysteriously, and then you brought us here because you thought it was neat?
And what about that vomiting crazy guy, Drunk Flan?
Oh, Drunk Flan? No, there's nothing other than to say that he's a drunk, you know. I mean, he was quite interesting too, and I like doing the part where he actually, you know, turned into the monster. That was fun, and I actually kind of liked how you I guess distorted the his voice in the trailer. I thought that was pretty cool.
Fuck! Come on, kid, don't do it. I'll buy you a drink.
Go to hell, puke bag!
I just think he's another character that's kind of like Bor, just that comedic kind of character that you know, that comes in and you're just like, oh gosh, it's drunk Flan, but I like him. He's so funny, you know. Just his, and I mean, people love drunk people, so you know, I just thought that he was a pretty cool character.
There's one scene where you're playing Advisor Simmons and you're playing Bor, and they're talking to each other about the weather. Do you remember that scene?
How's everything going tonight, Bor?
Same as it always is, Simmons. Same as it ever was. But this weather, this damned weather.
Yeah, this is some weather we're having.
Looking forward to the harvest moon though, eh?
Yep. Are you?
Oh yeah. If only this damn night would end, and we could get some better weather.
I do remember that scene.
Was that a weird part to do? Did you do them in order, or did you do them back and forth? How did you record that one?
Well, I read, since the characters were interacting with each other, and I mean, obviously I was doing the characters, you know, at first I read it all at once, and, you know, I kind of got the, I guess, the imagery and the scene in my head, and I was like, okay, I see where the scene is going. Let me, I guess now individually do the character's lines. So I did go back to my original process, which would be to do all of Drunk Flan's lines. But at the same time, when I was doing Drunk Flan's lines, in my head, I would do the Advisor Simmons lines. And then, you know, I would do vice versa after I, you know, finished, my gosh, Boris lines, yes.
We're hanging that stranger tomorrow, you know.
Well, one more thing to look forward to. Sure is better news than this weather.
Right. Well, see you later, Bor.
Yeah, see ya. Goddamn weather.
So, you know, people have seen the movie when they watch this, you know, it's coming with the movie. So, they've already seen it, and I'm sure people are going to love Bor and Bogg and Mac and, you know, all the characters you did. So for those people that want to know more about you or stuff you're doing or things like that, if you have anything to say to those people, where do they go? How do they find you? What are you doing? How do we let them know?
All right, cool. You could check out my Facebook. It's facebook.com/ C Jazz Walker, which is the letter C, and then jazz like the music, and then Walker. And the same goes for my Instagram. I'm not that active on Instagram, but I mean, I post stuff from time to time. And then my Twitter is @jazz_Walker. And let me see. And then my website, I have a website. It's not necessarily a voice acting website, but it's more of my video production, which is what I'm mainly more involved with. My whole passion is to do what you're doing, actually, except for not 3D, just live action. So I want to get into the filmmaking aspect, but for right now I'm doing commercial advertising and a lot of promo and advertising work. So you can go to www.kijahstudios.com, which is KIJAH studios.com. And yeah, that's pretty much the way you can contact me or find me.
So can fans of the film, fans of your characters, like contact you on Facebook, add you, stuff like that?
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, definitely. I appreciate anybody that likes what I do, and especially what you do, Mike. So yeah, they could definitely hit me up on Facebook and add me, and even I guess follow me on Twitter and Instagram. So feel free,
Yeah, and I haven't told anybody this, but since I like these characters so much, like Bogg and Teeny and a couple of the characters, I'm writing some new movies, and I just can't help but put them in them. So, you might have another opportunity to do Bogg in a different story in a different world. So
that'd be so awesome.
People can look forward to that too. So yeah.
Part 2, or just a different kind of thing?
A different movie. So I'm writing this other movie, and then I'm like, this would be a perfect opportunity for these two kids to show up in an airplane. So.
Okay, cool, man. I'm excited. Yeah.
So hopefully, if I do something like that, I can get you back to do Bogg.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. I'd love to. Yeah.
Cool. So thanks a lot for doing this interview, and I hope people that watch the movie like the movie. And yeah, if you liked the characters, if you like Bogg, I mean, how can you not like Bogg? Please check out his websites, his stuff, and if you have any questions, maybe he'll call you, do the character. Who knows? You can find all that stuff.
Yeah,
so.
I wouldn't mind. Yeah.
So
I'll
awesome.
do that.
Thanks for because what you did, what the voice actors do, like what you did, as a filmmaker, you make films too. It's like you have this idea, but it's just words on a page, and I can make the character, but still, they're kind of still just like puppets. So then what you did was, bring that life into them. So, I'll be eternally grateful to you for bringing my characters to life and making them so awesome. So, I just want to thank you for doing that, because
thank you, man.
It made, I think, my best movie I've ever done, and hopefully it's going to go out there bigger than anything I've done. I know it will. So, I just want to say thanks for that, and hope we can work together again in the future.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I thank you for, getting me on board and, giving me the opportunity to do these characters. And this is actually my first, 3D feature film that I've done. So I'm internally grateful. So I can't wait for the next project that you got, and I'm ready to see the film, man.
Cool. Awesome.
Now,